January 3rd, 2001. Happy New Year, 2001. We did, in fact, survive the 2000 scare of the world ending. All those Y2K worries with the computer clocks. Took me a day of recovery and relaxation before writing, since Mom and Dad like to direct the entire family through a deep clean of the house right after each New Year. Leona lucked out, having driven back to Utah already for her job at college. Mom says it welcomes in the fresh new year with a spotless home for bountiful blessings. I complain that dusting under every surface makes me sneeze too much. Dad reminded me, the harder we work, the more we will be able to handle later. Well, after we handle that house refreshing, I can work even harder now here in my room. No grandparents taking it over. Dad says little wise statements often, and it reminded me of a discussion his friend Floyd, the police officer, had with him during New Year's, which we hosted at our house this year. I talked about Floyd's brother, who just didn't want to work and was still living in his parents' house at the age of 40. The way they were going back and forth about this lazy guy as they sipped from their bottles made me gain a sense of anger at Floyd's brother. I sipped my eggnog and snapped on the hamantash cookies Mom laid out at the snack table, which we always had before big holiday meals. New Year's is more of a buffet style setup instead of Christmas's everyone gather around the table style. Standing about 2/3 their sizes in the knitted green sweater and dark gray jeans for fancier occasions, both new for Christmas, I tried to think of something fitting to say. How dare your brother just stay at home all the time and not start a family of his own, right? Floyd took a chug of his bottle, washing down laughter, it seemed, while Dad told me this conversation wasn't for children. So, wandering over to Leona, she was going back to Utah soon. Seemed like the next best option for an 11-year-old at New Year's. Did I say something wrong? That's what I was supposed to think. Tear Floyd's brother down for abusing his parents' good graces. Usually we only have host family over, but Dad wanted to have the runts play games and celebrate the new year with the clanging of pots and pans at our place. Maybe the newer jobs for both Mom and Dad this year have them feeling proud to show off our situation. Last year, before Dad had graduated from teachers college and found his first job with a degree, we had to have the school district help with gifts. Despite Dad never being home or available last year, except for dinner, he could not even earn enough money to make every end meet. Holidays are always seem to stretch us thinner. Sixth grade has shown better signs for our family's household as Mom and Dad gain better paying jobs and can climb us out of being poor. My best bet is to do really well in school so I can go to college like Leona, one where she's being trained to do mission work. She shared at the New Year's party that the guy she prays with regularly, Michael, thinks God has placed Burma on his heart. Leona didn't know where the country was, so I said, it's close to where Grandpa and Grandma Howell were missionaries, Leona. She seemed squinted and grinned at me. She's still thrilled to have what seems like a boyfriend and a vision from greatness from God. She was chatting and chuckling with Mom and Mrs. Runt about their prayer meetings, especially the one where Michael brought her flowers. One for every color of the rainbow. She loved the attention he gave her. Plus the mission. Maybe we would visit in the future at each other's churches in distant lands. The Runts don't do the missionary part of Christianity as much, but they just love hearing that Leona has the heart and ambition for it. Mrs. Runt said she couldn't get used to the different weather, language, and cuisines from the foreign places of Earth. I exploded with celebration. Leona already lived for a month in Mexico and a week in South Africa. She's probably ready for anything God has for her now. I squinted and grinned for this time. Since Mom grew up as a missionary in Vietnam, she always hoped her children, would follow the path her own parents took. Not sure why she didn't do mission work herself, but maybe hers here is in Meadowdale, Indiana. We just saw her parents for Christmas too, which is probably what boosted our moods and kept the conversation about that important work. I wanted to jump in and add that we just discovered having Jewish ancestry too, so we have some more claim to spreading the scriptures than others possibly. Before I could, the conversation turned toward how young women woo men. And Mrs. Runt almost scolded me. Nah, us ladies are going to talk about women's matters, so maybe you should go play with the boys, Shaylin. Her concerned glance letting through some of her annoyance at my presence. Typically, my mom and sister were the more fun and inclusive members of the family. I often noted to myself that hanging out with Dad, my brother Alvin, and Floyd's sons, Floyd Jr., Nate, and Justin, regularly centered around my inability to catch a football, run as quickly as Justin, he's my same age, or lift as much as Nate or Alvin. They're the same age, about 5 years older than me. Alvin didn't really hang out with the Runt boys, but he could chill with them when they came over. So, Shay, has Alvin finally taught you how to shoot a basket yet? Nate began, backhand slapping Alvin's arm as if it were a really funny joke. Both Alvin and Justin scoffed and broke into laughter while Floyd Jr. rolled his eyes as if annoyed. Our dads were equally making jokes over their beers, but standing on the other side of our front room. The women were on the couch between us boys and those men, our dads. I guess these were the groups now. I replied with a hand on my hip like my sister would, adding an eye roll just like Floyd Jr. did. Dribble basketballs on our uneven driveway? In the snow? My volume raised as my response poured out. Others' joking seemed to quiet down, meaning my comeback broke through all our conversations. Alvin speaks quietly, not liking the sound of his own voice possibly. But since the blues Christmas music my dad chose as background music was the only sound besides my brother's crackly teenage voice, everyone was his audience for once. Shay wants to be Leona now. It was Floyd Jr. that spoke next, surprising. Leona has been an actual example to emulate, unlike you, Alvin, a suburban street pharmacist, or my brothers who cannot even get B's on their papers in English. How's that when you speak the language fluently? I was looking up to Floyd Jr. from my crisscross applesauce seated position, the room's lighting fixture directly behind his curly brown hair. Is this what angels look like? My mom escorted me to the back room den, where we have a television for special occasions. I guess this was one of them. I was crying and couldn't stop. Alvin really likes to embarrass me in front of his buddies. But this was in front of adults, too. She set me up on the dingy old brown couch with more snacks and the new video from the Runts. The Runts give their family a new movie almost every Christmas. They did so this year too. Far less thrilling than the Matrix one they gifted us last year. Floyd must be a movie buff because his tastes seem pretty good for our family, as in Dad's approval. Floyd knows how picky Dad can be about certain character types. One example is that he brought over Jurassic Park when it first came out, showing everyone the same incredibly frightening film about the horrors dinosaurs bring. One of the guys in the film, the scientist behind the cloning, maybe my dad knows him from the radio show he listens to, but both Floyd and Dad were going on and on about how much of a weirdo he was. Not just in the film, but like in real life too. Floyd says he dates men in wigs even. I think they were had some similar reasons to uh, hate Trinity's character in The Matrix, saying her short hair made her resemble a man. They both like women with long hair. And while my mom's does flow down to her shoulders, Mrs. Runt drapes to her hips. I wonder how my mom would dye her hair that long. She must need two containers. She would need two containers of blonde coloring product, I think. I wonder if Mrs. Runt dyes her hair, and if Mr. Runt helps her like Dad helps Mom. Looking at the case of the new VHS in my hands, the unfamiliar name Jumanji made me think of jungles and wild animals, maybe from Africa or India. Exploding from what appeared to be a wooden game board was an elephant, monkeys, a lion, one of those musket wielding poachers from the movie like Tarzan, and Robin Williams. I loved his performance of the genie in our all time favorite Disney movie, Aladdin. Kind of wish the genie, the monkey, and the main character could have had an adventure without marrying a princess. Can't remember her name right now, but that's not until the end. So the rest of the movie is still awesome. Seeing his face on the cover had me hoping the movie will make me laugh. But as it's a live action film and not a cartoon, I was nervous about any scary parts, having left the men's, women's, and boys' side of the party. I had the movie in, another cola open to sip, and even the lights brought low. Rarely can I sit through an entire movie, so it helps to watch it by myself and pace during the slower and faster parts. The medium speed parts are the best because lots of things are going on in the film, but not so much that I cannot keep track of everything occurring. My father even told me I fell asleep during an action scene in The Matrix, the one with those bullets shooting everywhere in the high rise. In the past, Alvin and Dad would be watching, commenting, even laughing along to the shots fired, clapping when a bad guy died. Like it was a sports game and their team won. I rarely felt the same way during those scenes. If I managed to stay awake, my thoughts would fill with sadness for those unfairly dying as a security guard, apartment resident, or helicopter driver, even if the film's hero shot them. Why does Neo get the license to murder? The movie of Jumanji had no killings in it, but it did hint at the magic and supernatural spells, since the game comes to life and could even pull someone into it for decades. That's what happened to Rob Williams' character, and he only escapes because his new kids started playing the game together again. I'm surprised Mama and Dad let me watch a movie that's non-Christian magic in it. So the runts must get special approval or something. Every now and again, my dad would come to the den to stand and watch a few moments of the movie with me. I remember one scene where the poacher almost found and shot Robert Williams' character as a supermarket. My dad looked back at me with a smirk and comment, "Can't from run from the law forever, I guess." Somehow my dad believed that the poacher was a police person, or a symbol for law and order. All I could see was an evil, greedy, and violent man with nothing better to do than hurt those struggling. His face searched for giggle, and mine for his joke. But instead, I shrugged my shoulders and raised my hands to the side of my face, attempting to say, "He's the bad guy in the movie, Dad." His rapid turn back to the TV and then out to the room, out of the room, made me feel like he didn't approve of my reaction. Just like Alvin, huh? Or was Alvin like him? At least, he didn't try tickling me to make me laugh with him anymore. That was one of his favorite things as a dad, to make us laugh when we were actually sad or mad. Once he allowed me to finish the movie by myself, it was about time for beckoning in the new year. I must have missed Mom changing the table to dinner foods since I saw desserts out now. It was snacks before the movie, and now dessert. Where had dinner gone? The runts were mulling about to escort everyone in their group out into the starry winter night. We bundled up in our coats, us Fingals, and passed around large ladles and soup pots. Kitchenwares in hand, we trudged to the middle of our lumpy, broken driveway, the one that makes basketballs dribble crooked. We raised up our arms full of various metal and wooden objects as I heard a countdown begin. Hey, 7, 6, 5. I decided to join in the counting and help raise the mood among everyone. I couldn't miss out on a chance to shout and be loud. Our glances to each other kept bouncing various statements and sentiments of joy and celebration higher and higher into the air above the traffic. 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year, everyone, everywhere. I shouted my wish so loud that it rang louder than my dad's voice. The cloud of clatter in our driveway began combining with an orchestra of other houses clanging their silverwares. Our entire neighborhood seemed to applaud my decree. We were among the many in Meadowdale, Indiana, welcoming in 2001, hoping for good and pretty times. Shaylin Art Fingal.